Pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over. If you notice, no one's wearing masks. Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape.
He was wearing a mask in public outside 2 weeks ago. The problem is the damage is already done from the virus, as well as from the government's draconian overreaction and COVID measures. And there are still a lot of unanswered questions like, where did COVID originate? And who got rich off the vaccines? Last week, Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul confronted Dr. Fauci about the latter. Watch.
We've been asking you, and you refuse to answer, whether anybody on the vaccine committees gets royalties from the pharmaceutical companies. I asked you last time, and what was your response? We don't have to tell you. But I tell you this, when we get in charge, we're going to change the rules, and you will have to divulge where you get your royalties from what companies, and if anybody in the committee has a conflict of interest, we're going to learn about it. I promise you that.
Well, on top of that, there's still a lot we don't know about the vaccine. Senator Rand Paul took down Dr. Fauci on that point as well. Watch.
You seemed quite certain of yourself in 2004, but in 2022, there's a lot less certainty.
A vaccination following infection gives an added extra boost. And that film that you showed is really taken out of context.
If you ignore whether they've been infected, you're ignoring a vaccine, basically. When people decry vaccine hesitancy, it's coming from the gobbledygook that you give us.
As you heard, Senator Paul is vowing to investigate all of it should Republicans win the Senate. So when would that begin? And shouldn't they be doing that now? Here with me tonight, Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul. Senator Paul, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So you really are the only honest actor who is taking it to Dr. Fauci, who is so horribly conflicted. Now, for you, what is the most troubling conflict of interest that he has?
Well, the thing is the entire pandemic, if it came from a lab, the fact that he approved the research and funded the lab would draw culpability to himself, culpability to the NIH, culpability to all of these people who made the unwise decision to send money to China to do dangerous research. So that's why they steadfastly resist this. But if you look at the early emails when they first discovered the sequence, the RNA sequence of this virus, January 31st of 2020, they are quite frightened. There's harried emails going back and forth till 2:30 in the morning. And all of the initial scientists are saying to him, holy cow, we've looked at the sequence and it looks like it's been manipulated in the lab. In fact, it has a cleavage site. This is the way the virus cleaves or gets into the cell that we don't see in nature typically, and that the Chinese last year asked us for money to do exactly that research. So all kinds of alarms and bells went off for a day or two. And then we have another couple of emails where Dr. Collins and Dr. Fauci are talking about how they are science and saying that, wow, this would be really damaging to science and to NIH and to all the taxpayer money we get, and also to themselves personally. So they began a cover-up, and I think it's the biggest cover-up probably in the history of science. And we will get to the bottom of this, because I promise you there's going to be a paper trail, and there's not been any interest from Democrats. But should we win in November, I will use every bit of subpoena power to get every bit of data. We will bring Fauci under oath. We will bring all of those scientists under oath, and we will get to the bottom of this.
Well, I hope someone does, and I can't imagine for a moment why Democrats, their constituents died too. The kids in their districts, they suffered as well. They suffered through the mental health crisis and learning loss because of this pandemic, and we still don't know where it came from. We deserve to know that. That should not be a political pursuit. And, Dr. Fauci has made it so. He has turned into a political operative, and he has done so much damage to this country. Now, another answer you've been trying to elicit from him, and he's been very slippery on this, and this is also a glaring conflict of interest. There are people who sit on those vaccine committees who decide what the rules are for all of us and where we can and cannot go. Could they be getting royalties, and could they be enriched from the vaccines that they are forcing into people's bodies?
So we've asked this question over and over again. Fauci and others have refused to answer any questions. They're steadfastly refusing to answer any questions, but a judge, through the Freedom of Information Act, required that they release some emails. They released them, but they blanked them all out except for the total amount of royalties. But it's not a small amount. 1,800 scientists received $193 million, but they won't tell us from which companies to which scientists. So my question is simply this. And it may not, there may be nobody on the committee that's received this money, but if they won't tell us, it makes us wonder. So on the vaccine committees, there's several committees that approve vaccines and then push forward these mandates. Is anybody on those committees receiving royalties from the 2 companies that make the vaccine, or 3 companies that make the vaccine? And if they are, they shouldn't be on the committee. The best way to think of this is, let's say your local school board is going to vote to buy new textbooks, and one of the members of the school board owns the textbook company. Do you think anywhere in America that doesn't have to be divulged, that that's a conflict of interest? So nobody would, but nobody touches Fauci. We go after him on this, and he says, we are not going to tell you, we don't have to. And then he cites a law from 1980 that we're investigating the law, and we will change the law if it's protecting him. But really, what kind of bureaucrat, what kind of scientist comes forward and says, well, we're just not going to tell you because we don't have to? He and his wife make $850,000 a year working for the government, and we want to know if these scientists that are raking in that much money are also receiving royalties, and if they're receiving royalties from companies for which they are approving the drugs. That's a clear conflict of interest.
Absolutely. And the ramifications in society are totally unacceptable, and he deserves to be pressed on this and held to account. Senator Paul, a lot of people who watch this show are hoping that you are thinking about running in 2024. Do you have an appetizer for them?
Well, 2 months from now, I am running. I'm running for re-election for Kentucky, and if people want to know about that, they can go to randpaul.com. I haven't thought beyond that. It's hard to think beyond that because 2024 is another election cycle away. And so we won't make any decisions till after this. I can tell you that if we were to look at it, it has to be a probable tract in which there would be a possibility, because it is a large duty. I did it in 2015, for the 2016 election, and we were disappointed somewhat with the numbers. And so, in order to undertake a project like that, we have to really believe that we could win. We wouldn't do it just for fun, because frankly, it's not that much fun to travel the entire country and do the work.
Well, we'll see.
But I do want to participate in the debate. So.
All right. I can't wait to see it. I am excited for what your future holds. And unlike Dr. Fauci, you believe in data and science, so I'm sure that will inform your decision. Senator Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you.